As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am. A past as rich as any can be. My father's worked hard to give this to me. I love this place I come from. To live another way I cannot foresee. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. As an American, I've been to the peaks of majestic mountains where the air is sweet. I've watched the eagle as it soars in beautiful skies that just can't be ignored. And by this country I'll always stand, for freedom and liberty for every man. When times are hard and things get rough, America always stands ready and rough. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. Forever American is what I am.
Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully everyone can hear me all right. If you can't, please let me know. But a lot going on. Hi, Glenda. Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Nana. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Susan. Hi, Richard. Hi, Karen. Hi, James. Hi, Alex. Hi, Len. How you doing tonight? Of course, hit that share button. Get us out there as far as possible. And, of course, if you could support us, please do. We've got, of course, software up-and-coming costs that are going to affect the page. A lot to talk about tonight. A lot to talk about. First, we're going to talk about what's happening with the tornado damage at the Pfizer plant. They're saying it's unlikely to cause major drug supply shortages, but not too quick. I mean, the most destruction from a tornado that torn through the eastern North Carolinas on Wednesday, of course, struck a large Pfizer pharmaceutical plant affecting its storage facility. Then it's rather than its medical production areas, but of course the storage facility, of course, is where a lot of drugs that we have are. With the United States already having a major problem with drug makers and not being able to grapple with the drug shortages, this would be another major blow to the U.S. supply chain with the existing drug shortages. I know a lot of people don't understand, but if you're on prescription drugs that require it, it's a big problem. Of course, Pfizer's representative, or the Food and Drug Administration, said we do not expect there to be any immediate significant impacts on given drugs or supply given the products that are currently at the hospitals and the distribution center or system. So no immediate problems, but yet the Pfizer plant that produces nearly 25% of American pharmaceuticals, injectable or sterile injectable medicines in the U.S. hospital system, of course, and insulin and other products. That's the facility we're talking about. I mean, medicines awaiting release to go to hospitals and to go to pharmacies and do the most damage. I mean, this is crazy. All the employees are safe and sound, but this is going to be many weeks worth of medicine that has been destroyed for the whole supply chain of the system itself. Many weeks worth of medicine already being destroyed. Of course, that is just the tip of the iceberg, stuff that's happening. We know, of course, a rare submarine visit from the United States to South Korea, a U.S. nuclear missile pops up in South Korea, causing massive problems. The U.S. ballistic submarine, of course, surfaced in a rare visit to South Korea this week, and trying to bluntly remind that Washington always has nukes, nuclear-tipped missiles deployed within close striking distance of North Korea. But of course, this is having a backwards effect, showing, of course, that we're willing to target a nuclear submarine in South Korea is a big problem. North Korea said the latest U.S. military actions may fall under the conditions that, of course, Pyongyang has set for a nuclear first strike. This is a serious problem. Of course, yesterday, the North Korean defense minister made a veiled threat about nuclear first strikes based on the U.S. latest actions. And we knew this was possible. A nuclear-armed submarine docking in South Korea, knowing that it was going to provocate things, just like we did with the flights over North Korea, or next to North Korea, with bombers. We'll just keep poking. We can't help ourselves. But of course, the defense minister for North Korea warned that U.S. recent actions definitely fall under conditions set by North Korea's launch a preemptive nuclear strike. So this is a very strong tipping point right now that we're at. Of course, nothing came yet, but Kang Sung-mi made the threat in response to Washington stationing the Ohio-class nuclear ballistic missile submarine, the USS Kentucky. I mean, this is the first time since 1981 that a nuclear-armed submarine has docked in South Korea. Why? Why are we so actively trying to promote a war? 1981 was the last time we had a nuclear submarine or armed submarine then. Why would the U.S., of course, go and put a nuclear asset in dangerous waters and provoke somebody that's already off? They lost their mind already. They're already off their hinges. Is this beneficial? North Korea could easily be the one to start Armageddon because they're just out there. Believe me, I hate North Korea, but this is a very serious problem. U.S. military is trying to push the fact that their ever-increasing visibility of the deploying of strategic nuclear submarines and other strategic assets, of course, pushing to the conditions that fall under the nuclear weapons-specific DPRK law on nuclear force policy. So why would we do that? We know the nuclear force policy for North Korea, of course, the U.S. and South Korea, which We are becoming, the U.S. is a military gangster group. Let's just face it. People are setting red lines everywhere around the world, China, Russia, now North Korea, setting red lines. And we just keep jumping over it. Like laws don't matter to us. The rest of the world's laws do not matter. What the rest of the world's countries do, we don't care. We're going to do anything we want to do. We're just going to push our way through because that's who we are. We're the bullies. We're the gangsters. And we wonder why our dollar is losing value. I mean, the dollar is losing value at such a rate right now around the world as a global market that it's serious implications. Right now, our country, this year alone, just on the national debt, not bonds and interest payments on bonds, but just on the national debt, is going to pay $1 trillion in interest on the national debt alone. This is serious. The only way to, of course, stop this would be to devalue the dollar extremely. The U.S. eventually will have to do in order to pay off its debt to China if we do start a war. Devaluation of the dollar means trouble for everyone, much less going into a war. But imagine not being able to buy basic necessities like bread or milk. Not even talking food in general. I'm just talking basics. This is a true problem that America is facing right now. As the world is turning away from U.S. global dollar dominancy, the U.S. is becoming a more gangster military group, pushing red lines and jumping across them. Make the volume louder. Yeah, hold on a second. I can definitely do that. I think. I should be able to anyways. I'm not sure, but let me know if that helps at all. If it doesn't, let me know. I will do what I can to make it louder. But, yeah, this is craziness. What we are watching happening around the world is seriously a problem. The U.S. has pushed so many people out, and now we're seeing, of course, us jumping through hoops to make sure we cross lines. To make sure we cross lines that the U.S., of course, knows are there. And saying, we're not provocating anybody, we're just trying to stop provocation. We can say that all we want, but if we watch our actions speak louder than our words. Knowing about first strike rules and the strong contrast of long-standing nuclear policies held by North Korea and by China and by Russia, the U.S. doesn't care. The U.S. truly does not care, and they're pushing problems that are going to cause more problems for us in the future. Not for U.S. government, but for the citizens ourselves. I mean, we have a U.S. soldier that ran into North Korea during a border village tour on Tuesday without leaving any explanation right now. North Korea continues to remain silent over the incident. Testing nuclear short-range ballistic missiles in response to the U.S. Kentucky's presence in the South. But of course, this nuclear provocation is just the newest thing coming out. We had to send a nuclear submarine armed with nuclear ballistic missiles to South Korea, and the first time since 1981. This is ridiculous. Where's just common sense in these issues? Of course, we're trying to pressure Russia back again, under the presence of the UN, of course, to revive Ukraine's grain deal shipments, even though Ukraine's directly attacking Crimea, or citizens, not soldiers, attacking a throw ship or bridge that was not used by soldiers the entire time during this war so far, or anything, but used by civilians. Ukraine, of course, causing major damage to that bridge and causing damage to a train that, of course, transports civilians back and forth. But yet, Moscow's being criticized because they for attacking Ukrainian ports and pulling out of the Euro grain deal? What about the original deal that, of course, Ukraine and Russia had, a peace treaty deal, or a peace deal, not even a month after this war started? Of course, people are talking, oh, well, Russia doesn't want to go back to the table. Why would Russia want to go back to the table for negotiations of peace? Honestly. Why would Russia go back to the table? Russia, of course, we all hear our Western media say Russia was losing in Kiev. That's the reason they pulled back. That's not why. Not even a month after the war started in Ukraine, when Russia had Kiev surrounded, Kiev folded and signed a peace deal with Russia. They signed a deal. That's not a question. We know it happened. Of course, the U.S., once Russia did pull back, the U.S., of course, said, why honor Russia's deal? Of course, NATO, the same thing. European leaders and NATO leaders telling Ukraine not to honor it. Of course, violating the deal, of course, ending the peace deal that was had, not even a month after the war was started. Since then, we've been funneling billions of dollars of U.S. money to Ukraine in a proxy war, let's be honest, against Russia. Now sending bigger weapons that Ukraine will use to attack Russia directly. It's not a question of if. They will. They've already been doing it. Sending cluster munitions, now soon to be F-15s. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. It's out of hand. Another $1.6 billion going to Ukraine. For what? What do we benefit out of this? How does this help American citizens? Of course, we're in a proxy war with Russia. We're trying to get a proxy war with China over Taiwan, which we agree with China's one China policy. And now look at North Korea. We just couldn't help ourselves. We're bound to start a war somewhere. And this is ridiculous at this point. Our leaders should be worrying about U.S. citizens and not these foreign nations. We have bigger problems here by ourselves. I mean, the Justice Department's looking at going after Texas for, of course, its floating barrier on the Rio Grande River because it raises humanitarian concerns. People are illegally crossing into our country. Justice Department, of course, is telling Texas that its floating barriers of wrecking ball size of buoys in the state put on the Rio Grande violate federal law and raise humanitarian concerns for migrants crossing into U.S. from Mexico. They shouldn't be crossing illegally. If they were not crossing illegally, it would not cause any kind of humanitarian problem or concern, would it? Honestly, people need to wake up. Right now, our government is more worried about trying to start a war or attacking its political rivals than worrying about the state of our country itself. Our homelessness rate amongst veterans is climbing astronomically, as veterans are being kicked out of hotels and other facilities that they've been housed in to house more migrants illegally that are illegally entering our country. Make sure we make that statement. And we see this happening every time. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that the Justice Department is set to sue if the barrels are not removed. Sue Texas because of humanitarian concerns. Not go after the migrants that are crossing illegally. No, go after the state that's trying to stop them from coming in and causing more damage and crime. It's okay that our citizens are going homeless. People are losing their vehicles and houses because of the interest rates that are astronomical. They say inflation's under control, but no. All they did is plug the hole temporarily. Let's put it this way. You put a patch in a bike tire, it's bound to last a little bit. But once that patch goes, that tire's gone. There's no going about it again. And that's what's happening. We have a patch on a tire, and the patch is wearing thin with inflation. Once that patch goes, the tire's going to be all gone. Forget it. Won't stand a chance. This is crazy, but people need to wake up now. Of course, and then we have this ridiculous, media does not understand. I'm going to get on this right now because left-wing media is driving me crazy. News, of course, CNN and other news outlets and left-wing are trying to unseal a newly revealed search warrant in the Trump case, but they're calling it a Trump document case, making it seem like the case is about having classified information. What they don't understand is the case has nothing to do with having classified information. Nothing. It has to do with hiding the fact that he supposedly hiding the fact that he had this classified documents. Not saying that he wasn't allowed to have them, that he didn't tell anybody he had them. That's what the case is about. That's what this document case is. It's nothing about the actual documents themselves or whether they were classified. It's about whether he told the truth about having them or not. Or whether he tried to hide it, which has caused collusion, which, of course, is one of the charges in this case. They're going after political rivals with crimes that aren't even crimes. Presidential Record Act does not have him disclosing information. The only person who has ties to it is the National Archive, and he doesn't have to turn anything over if he chooses not to. You can thank Clinton for that with the sock drawers. That never happened, and this wouldn't be a problem right now. It just gets worse and worse. And of course, they're trying to push all these Trump charges, and now, of course, this fake elector charge is ridiculous. Alternate electors have always been a place, and Democrats started the alternate electorate with Hawaii. I don't know if you know when it happened, but in the case with Hawaii having alternate electorates because their vote was in question. And Democrats are the ones that, of course, got alternates, which their alternates were never allowed to actually cast their ballot, just like Trump's alternates weren't for 2020. But nobody ever was charged with a criminal conspiracy. Now they're charging these alternates. What 80-something or 83-year-old grandma is getting charged for being assigned as an alternate vote for the Republican Party if the vote was found out not to be right, if they didn't count it right. This is ridiculous. The government is attacking the right at every side, every step of the way. Everything we do. Massive problems. Yeah. The document trial, which is not a document trial, it's a conspiracy trial, because that's what it is, conspiracy to commit fraud, which requires multiple people. If you haven't noticed, that's the reason he's charging the lawyers and everything else in there, which they're not talking about in mainstream media. The documents themselves have no bearing on that case in May 2024. And of course, this is a huge problem. We end up having more problems every time we turn around. No, I haven't seen Big K tonight. I haven't seen Brian. But this is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Of course, the U.S. government wants us all to say, oh, no, everything's okay. Don't look over here where the president has made multiple people now have come forward, not just one or two whistleblowers. Now that the president was directly involved in a bribery scheme while he was vice president of the United States. Any charges laid forward, any impeachment started on us. Where is the government? The leader of supposedly the world, because the U.S. is supposedly the most powerful country in the world, known in a bribery scheme. Forcing Ukraine to pay bribes, forcing China to pay bribes, while he was sitting vice president. He was the one in charge of the Burisma deal and everything happening there. How is he still in office? How has he not been charged with criminal bribery? I mean, a top U.S. official. I mean, the guy sitting at the top. And when we're worried about documents, whether Trump said he had the documents or not, which documents he said he had or didn't have, supposedly. Because it's not about having the documents, because he was allowed to. They already know that. This trial set for May is a case not of classified documents. It's a case whether he said he had those ones or not. Why should he be arrested by now? I mean, yeah, listen to committees with whistleblowers. Not only that, one of the whistleblowers has witnesses to this meeting. 12 other witnesses with the IRS, and I'm not going to get political here, but 7 of them are definitely heavy Democrats, saying that this is what was stated during that meeting. I mean, he has emails to back up to verify what he said, because in the emails, he quoted what happened at the meeting, he quoted what was said at the meeting, and then said, is this correct about what I perceived from this meeting? With CC to all these people. And of course, people responding, yes, that's exactly what I got out of the meeting. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. People need to wake up. Our government is attacking the right at every single turn, trying to provocate a war. Because the only way to make stuff disappear is all of a sudden we're at war. If we're at war and there's problems happening and people are getting drafted and everything, people don't pay attention to political issues. They don't. They're more worried about their family's safety at that point. And we're seeing the push for that. Whether we end up at war this year or next year, or the economy decides to fail before next year or next year sometime, it's going to happen. Because they're going to make it happen. That's the only way to control you and your family. We need to wake up. People need to wake up and get moving. And realize that this is how the New World Order is going to start. Talk about it enough. We act like we don't want to see it or hear it. But it's happening. Every single day. It's sad. I wish there was a magic formula to making everything go away, making everything right with the world, but there's not. There's no magic spell or magic saying that is going to change anything. It's just sad. Watching the demolition of America happening right before our toes. Of course, a lot of people don't want to see it. They're burying their heads in the sand. Which I don't blame them at this rate. It's devastating. But as Americans, we need to stand tall, stand strong, and do something. Prepare your family for anything that could be at the dire situations that we're facing. But God bless you guys. God bless America. Challenging times are ahead of us. We look back and we say we were challenged before. But the challenging times we're facing now will be worse. But God bless you. God bless America. And of course, thank you. Thank you very much. If you guys can support the channel, we definitely appreciate it. Thank you, Linda, for definitely supporting the channel. Greatly need those donations. Like I said, starting next month, we have to pay the $600 and something again for the software that we use. It's a yearly cost. No, it's 12 something. Sorry, a yearly cost plus our monthly cost for software and stuff we do use here at the program. We thank you guys for being here to support us and sharing this out and trying to get the information out there for people to hear. But God bless you guys. God bless America. I mean, the real America, not the America we're facing right now. The America we once knew and loved. God bless you guys. Be safe, be strong, and be prepared. Good night.